right, Jeff Goodman and Bob Ryan here on the Garden Report on CLNS Media, talking the Boston Celtics. And Bob, we're going to talk a little bit about the numbers that ESPN attributed in their top 100 NBA players to each of the Boston Celtics. And Jayson Tatum, we've been kind of touting him as a top 10 fringe, top 10 player. I think ESPN got it right with Jayson Tatum, putting him at number 11 overall. Should we first roll down? Let me just roll down 1 through 10 quickly.
Yeah, do that.
1 LeBron, 2 AD, 3 Giannis, 4 Luka, 5 Kawhi, 6 KD, who's back, 7 Damian Lillard, a little bit higher than I thought, but 8 Steph, 9 Harden, and 10 your boy Jokic. 11 Jayson Tatum. Got any issue with that?
No. Right now, he's. I think these. I can't pick apart and has any reason how I can stick him ahead of any. Who would I bump? Maybe Jokic yet. Although I love him, but no. That's a surprisingly good list. I'll be honest.
You know who the biggest surprise I felt like? Looking in the top 15 was Bam Adebayo at 13 is a little bit high.
Whoa.
A little bit high, right? Ahead of Embiid, ahead of Chris Paul, ahead of Ben Simmons.
Who's 12?
Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell.
Who's in between Tatum and Adebayo? Who's 12?
12 is Jimmy Butler, who I think a lot of people were arguing who's better, Tatum or Jimmy Butler in the playoffs last year. I would say that Butler was certainly better in that series. But ultimately, I think he had more help as well.
Bam Adebayo, boy,
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet with Bam, but I'm there with Tatum. And I think Tatum, honestly, I really think Tatum moves into the top 10 clearly this year because he has to. Like, he's going to have way more on his shoulders. And did you know, Bob, he's grown. He went from 6'8" to 6'10". Did you hear this?
Yeah. I didn't know he was only ever listed anything under 6'10" and 6'9". Really, he was.
Brad Stevens said he's 6'10" now.
Well, so. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I can still see that beautiful first step as we speak. No, he's got. Look, I had nothing I could say to you that you haven't. You're right there as a ranking officer in the fan club. Just analyze what we're talking about: strength, size, shooting, and the ever improving passing game, and the commitment to defense that he made last year. That packaged it. Certain nights it was all there. That Sacramento game, we keep coming back to the 43-point game, but that was just it was a bird-like masterpiece that night. Larry would have been proud to have that game.
That's my take on Jayson Tatum. Is now the biggest thing I saw again was not only the passing ability, but early on in last season, he was afraid to finish through contact. He tried to avoid contact. And then around the All-Star game, a little bit before that, he started to get a lot tougher and embrace contact, getting to the line, finishing around the rim. That was the step I thought he needed to take more than even, again, his passing. I knew that would come once the game slowed down for him, and Brad put him in situations where he could make plays for others. All right, the next highest rated guy, no surprise. Well, I guess no surprise. I mean, Jaylen Brown at 32, I still say Kemba's the better player when he's healthy, but Jaylen Brown is at 32. Kemba is actually 4th on ESPN's list at 48.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, unless they're just assuming that he's never going to be what he was, that the knee thing. I mean, which, we don't know. We talked about it. We don't know. We're going to see. If he's healthy, that's too low. I'm sorry. That's way too low. If he's healthy, he's in the top 30. He's healthy.
I mean, he was a
20 to 30 if he's healthy, and that's all. But if he's not, all right, he may be generous. I mean, we don't know.
I think that's the problem. Putting him somewhere in between, not knowing his health, right? Like if he's not healthy,
he's silly. So that's where he is. I think. All right. So we agree. If he's healthy, we saw snippets of that last year. But the age, the knee. I think I'm surprised that he's not ready. That it's still this thing and to talk in January, and it is more serious than I ever realized.
It's going to be, you watch, it's going to be like February 1st. That's my guess at the end of the day. And it's just a guess, but I bet Kemba Walker isn't back on the court healthy until February 1st.
All right. So the next highest up is Jaylen Brown.
Yep. 32.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's pretty good.
That's right outside of being an all-star, Bob. That's literally right outside. I'll give you some of the other players in that range. You've got Jaylen Brown just behind Ja Morant. I like Ja better. Behind Kyle Lowry, Trae Young at 29. He's just different from all these guys.
Yeah, he is. Well, you talk about right away. You talk about three guards right away. They're pure guards.
Right.
I mean, he's a hybrid player. He's a classically modern hybrid player. He can be a 4. He can guard a 3. He can guard a 2, right? And you'll put lineups out there where he's the nominal 2 if you even worry about these numbers anymore. But anyway, that's what's one thing that's so good about him. He's so flexible. He's so useful, and you can use him in different ways.
Yeah, I have zero problem with him being in that range. I don't know if he's, 30 or 40, but I think he's in that general range where he's not an all-star. I think he's going to be a fringe NBA all-star for his career. And the biggest thing for me this year is without a high-level point guard, without Kemba early, and with having Jeff Teague, how does that change what he does? Is he going to get as many open looks from 3? Is he going to get as many buckets in transition? Is he going to have to work for those things? Because that's not really his game in the half court. So we'll see. We'll see. Your boy Markis Smart, 37, a little higher than I think a lot would put him at.
Pleasantly surprised. And now you know how I feel. I just think that, all kidding aside, there is nobody quite like him. I would hate to think of not having him on this team, and that shows some respect. I think, given
ahead of Draymond Green at 44, Gordon Hayward at 45, Karis LeVert 46, Oladipo 47, Kemba 48.
So that's good. As I say, I'm really pleasantly surprised at the list, frankly, because usually lists these things drive you crazy, you pull your hair out. But I think some good thought went into this. So I approve. Good. That's good.
Listen, he's an elite level defender. So that's the great thing for me, is to value defense in these lists a little bit more than some do. And he became a more than capable 3-point shooter. And as long as he can hit 36, 37% from 3, you'll take, that takes him to, and the other part, Bob, is he can run a team. Like, I never thought he could, but he can really run a team.
Right.
And to be honest, if you have him with Jeff Teague, it takes some of the pressure off both of them. Neither one are like pure points, but both can kind of share the ball handling duties while Kemba's out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was glad you mentioned that, because I think that's the biggest step up, other than the 3-point shooting, that he can run the team. Look, he's a remarkably interesting player to me. That was a wonderful pick. I'm glad Danny did it. I like him.
Yeah, you love him. And then I think that's it for the Celtics. That is, nobody else ranks in the top 100. I don't know who else would possibly. That's part of their problem right now.
Who's up next?
You've got a bunch of guys, Tristan Thompson, how good can he be? Daniel Tice, they've got a bunch of solid players, but I think they're going to need somebody to step up with Tatum and Jaylen and Markis Smart. Otherwise, you're going to rely on Markis Smart to be your third offensive option every single night. Do you like that?
No, I'll be honest with that. No, you're right.
That's the key. Maybe do it, by committee to some degree, but you better be getting, 18 points out of Tyson, Tristan Thompson every night. And I'm not sure you can get that. No,
you're right.
All right. Well, there you have it. I guess.
And the final X factor is if they get anything out of the rooks.
Right. They're going to need something. They're going to need something. And Teague's going to have to provide them with, a consistent double figures. But ultimately,
one other factor, do they use the exception?
Right. To get somebody.
Yep. And that's not inconceivable.
No, you're going to need to be honest, you're really going to need to do that. And maybe you wait until a team falls out. Like that might be the best thing is play the waiting game if you're Danny Ainge. Try to get a team that has given up and they want to unload contracts and get somebody who can help you, even if it is a wing coming off the bench who can just score, right? I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to see what Kemba's health is too. You might need a point guard.
Yeah, they're right. So the story is just starting to be written, folks.
It is.
We will have there'll be somebody around that we're not talking about for sure. I think by the end of the year, by the middle of the year, and maybe one of the rooks, maybe Naismith will turn out to be readier than some think right away, and that would be a bonus. And they do need that kind of player. Let's face it. They got to find it somewhere. If it's not him, then that need has to be addressed.
The good news, Bob, they do have 4 guys in the top 50. So that's good news. All right, there you have it. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, The Garden Report with CLNS Media.